suffering in Syria. We pray that God will guide the whole region toward a future of dignity and of peace. And we pray that God will continue to watch over and bless the United States of America.
President Donald Trump speaking from the White House at 9 p.m. last night, right before the missile strike into Syria. Right now we are joined by Tyrone Keys, WCBM political contributor. Tyrone, obviously we booked you before last night, so we had other things we were going to talk about, but it was a strike that by all accounts right now seems to be successful, and Donald Trump catching a lot of flack for using the mission accomplished term, but it looks like the mission was accomplished.
Well, Donald Trump is catching a lot of flack for doing what Hillary Clinton suggested, which was bomb Syria. She suggested we do that back in April of last year. So it's just more, outrage du jour from the loony left. They're crazy. They are not rational. Trump derangement syndrome is real. Okay, so they can't examine anything that he does in an objective fashion. Okay.
410 yeah, 410 WCBM 680, 410-922-6680. I will get the phones in 1 second. Tyrone, I've been saying for the last decade, I don't believe that our role is to be the world's police.
I agree.
I don't. But I also don't believe that we should be isolationists. If we're going to have allies, and one of our larger allies is Israel, and if we do believe that there's some things from a humanitarian standpoint that will not be tolerated, then this is one of those cases, if that's going to be our methodology as the world superpower, there's some things that you can't turn a blind eye to. And it's not like this is Assad's first strike here.
Yeah, I mean, look, Assad is no angel. That's for sure. I mean, he's been pretty brutal to his people, even outside of, gas attacks. So the guy's a dictator, no doubt. And let's not forget, this is a complex issue because this whole Syria thing started shortly after the so-called Arab Spring.
Right.
Okay. And Assad was the only only leader to hold on to his power, after that.
That was us, by the way, not to cut you off, that was us turning our back on another ally,
Absolutely.
and General Sisi over in Egypt.
Absolutely. So the waters got muddy because some of these guys were ISIS, and you got McCain posing with so-called rebels, some of whom turned out to be ISIS fighters. So, it got really complicated over there. But no one's shedding any tears, or should be shedding any tears for Assad. I think that one of the issues is that Russia is involved, and so the liberals have a dilemma here because Trump was supposed to be in bed with Russia, okay?
Right.
And now he's doing something that's obviously not in their interest.
Where I think that's where a lot of the anger legitimately comes from. Listen, whenever you talk about ousting a dictator, it can be Mubarak in Egypt, Kim Jong-un in North Korea, Gaddafi in Libya, Saddam Hussein in Iraq. The concern always is it's where foreign aid comes in. Okay, look, we don't like the guy, but give him a couple $1 billion. We keep him in check. We're buying influence,
Buying stability.
And yeah, of course, they're not good people. Dictators never are, but at least we know the devil. All of a sudden there becomes this vacuum. We don't know who's going to fill that vacuum. It could be ISIS, which is what we saw in Iraq and the disaster of trying to nation build.
Mm-hmm.
So I totally respect and understand that. The difference is right now, you already have that vacuum in Syria.
Right.
Syria is not Egypt. It's not Iraq. It's not North Korea. I'm not sure if it's a bad idea to take Assad out of the equation here.
Well, I don't think that the Russians are going to allow Assad to be taken out of the equation because they are there because they have the Tartus submarine base in Syria. And that is the only warm water naval base that Russia has. So they have a strategic interest in Syria. And they feel that if Assad goes away, that they're not going to be able to maintain that strategic interest with whoever would take over, which looks like ISIS.
Yeah, but I think Putin's willingness to to fight that war is somewhat limited also. I mean, you're going to hear the rhetoric coming up, but there was no Russian response. And actually, there's been minimal rhetoric for that matter. There was, of course, communication between the United States and the Kremlin, and they were well informed of where the attacks are going to be and had ample time to get their people out of the way. There were some surface-to-air missiles that were launched from the Syrians. Nothing, you know.
Well, Russia's in a bind because, okay, yes, we attacked Syria, but Russia can't turn around and attack us.
Correct.
That would be the commencement of World War III.
But that's what the pundits are saying.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Well, and that's what Donald Trump
Putin
said.
is smarter than that. He doesn't want World War III over one submarine base.
Correct. 410 WCBM 680. Let's kick it off with Chris in Baltimore. Chris, thank you for holding. Good evening. How you doing, sir?
Good evening, Jimmy, and good evening, Tyrone.
Good evening.
I have to say, as a fiscal conservative, I profusely disagree with the two of you to no end on this issue.
Okay.
Because this has nothing, as bad as it is, yes, using gas to kill people, killing people is bad, period. We all agree on that. But Assad killing Syrians within that country, it's not his country, but within that country is not a threat to the U.S., it's not a threat to Israel, it's not a threat to Saudi Arabia or any other U.S. ally. We need to stay out of this. This president, Jimmy, you began your show by saying the president made a statement. You played the statement, and that's true. Mm-hmm. But more recently, instinctively, he made another statement, which is, I want to get out of Syria. And isn't it ironic that right after he makes that statement, and usually when he follows his instinct is when he wins, is when he's getting coached and controlled, is when he makes these type of bad mistakes. But isn't it ironic that shortly after he makes that statement, all of a sudden there's a new gas attack?
Chris, I could not agree with you more, and I hate to cut you off. I apologize for that, but I just want to kind of hit on something you said. And look, I will agree with you that I would love to see some evidence of this because in my mind, okay, I believe, well, Trump made this statement on the 3rd that he wanted to get out of Syria. And then on the 8th, the attack occurred. Now, any reasonable person would have to say, hey, let's take a step back. Why would it be in Assad's interest to do this right after Trump announced that he wanted to leave? So, I do need to see some evidence. I mean, what's done is done.
Well, it's too late now, yeah.
Right, but we still, I think it's important that we see evidence, though, because, I mean, look at what happened in Iraq. I know you're familiar with that. We presented evidence, which turned out to kind of be
but neither one of you guys,
shaky.
are going to question the fact that Assad has used chemical weapons on his own people.
We're not questioning that.
Well, no,
Okay.
I'm not questioning that.
I hear you, Chris. I hear you. But somebody made the comparison. I hear you. Somebody made the comparison last night. I forgot the show that it was on. Look, OJ didn't get sentenced to 32 consecutive life sentences because he stole his own clothes, right? So, yeah, I mean, but I kind of laughed at it because I thought, yeah, it doesn't mean that it's right. But if the question is, are we going to allow this kind of behavior? What happened a week ago is sort of moot at some point.
But it's not in our interest to punish. See, America made the decision, or a jury and a judge made the decision that it was in America's interest to still punish OJ for that crime. There is no national security interest in bombing Syria. This president needs to forget about Syria, forget about Mueller. He needs to focus on the economy. Us fiscal conservatives in America will benefit if he just focuses on the economy. And let me just ask you one favor from you, Jimmy and Tyrone.
Mm-hmm.
When Congressman Harris comes on, can you ask him, please? I mean, they got us all excited over rescission, which is a way to cut that terrible spending bill that was recently passed. Can you ask him if there's any more movement on rescission in Congress before the deadline is up in less than 45 days?
I will. And Chris, the reason why we originally scheduled the congressman was to talk debt. We booked him a couple of days, so it really wasn't even tied into the Syria thing. So I will do that. Thank you. Appreciate it very much. Delegate Pat McDonough joins us. Good afternoon, Delegate. How you doing?
Good afternoon. I guess 6 o'clock's afternoon.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
All right. I wanted to give you a call, Jimmy, and let you know that I and my good friend, your good friend, Nino Mangione, have been removed from the airwaves.
What do you mean?
I will not be on tonight, and Al Redmer filed some kind of a complaint, which I guess, it's his right to do, although I'm not sure if all the details are accurate. But anyway, as a result, the station felt obligated to remove us from the airwaves. And, of course, now, if you were still running for office, you would have been a victim also, my friend.
Yeah.
You would have been removed. But anyway, I just wanted to say to the listening audience out there, many of which are your listening audience or my listening audience, that I love them very much. And I will be back. Make no mistake about it. It's only a matter of time. And, if I'm not there, it's not my choice, but that's just the way it is.
Okay, I was unaware of that, Pat. I'll give you a call for the show, okay?
Yeah, well, we'll be calling into you, talking to you about the campaign, maybe coming in as a guest once in a while.
Okay.
And certainly can do that, and we'll be doing that. I didn't find out until Friday, Jimmy. So actually, and Nino didn't find out until Friday. But, I mean, I don't know. We may put in a substitute program that is a talk show. It can't be the Pat McDonough show or related to the campaign, that sort of thing. But it could be a good show.
Trying to break out 40 and I'll call brothers.
Interested and sort of what would you call it, a placeholder type thing. We did that once before with the congressional race, so that's just the way it goes.
Yeah. Again, Pat, that's news to me. So, I've dealt with my own trough of political dirty tricks. So,
Well, Jimmy, a lot of times people don't realize in the listening audience that when you decide to make a choice to run for public office, you have to sacrifice a lot of things. In my case, I gave up a safe seat in the Maryland House of Delegates, where I could have been very easily reelected. And there are so many people out there running for office, and they want to get that position, and it was mine if I wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm giving up a talk radio show, which I'm very fond of and enjoy very much. And, the other things that are hard to explain to people, you're a family person, you understand. And then also you have to put up with the dirt and the bad politics and the below the belt. I mean, I have been in politics and public office for more than 25 years. And I have now been involved in the dirtiest campaign I have ever witnessed in my entire life. We're going to be talking about that next week. We're going to do a news conference on it. I mean, it is unbelievable that one Republican would act this way towards a person who's another Republican and attack their family like you said.
Pat, you're preaching to the choir, my friend.
Well, I'm preaching to the audience.
I hear you.
I understand it, but you've experienced.
Yeah, I've read I've been the book. All right, Delegate, I'll give you a call for the show. Thank you very much. On the other side of the break, Roger Stone is scheduled to join us for the Stone Zone. Let me tell you about my friends out at Bread and Circuses. When I came over here to WCBM, they weren't like, no, we want to advertise. We're like, we want to own the show. We want to be the title sponsors. My friend Steve and Martha out at Bread and Circuses, right in beautiful Towson. It is your only destination for a rehearsal dinner. Their patio, I was actually talking to Steve right before I went on the air, because the Orioles, by the way, kind of stumbled out of the gate today in Boston, but they got the patio open, great place to catch a game outside, best food you're going to have inside. It's my only destination for food and drinks. It's reasonably priced. If you're in the Towson area, well, Tyron, you've been there a million times.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a foodie. I love good food, and this is definitely a spot for it. So, yeah, absolutely. Check it out.
Kitchen open till 2 a.m. Say 2 a.m., I mean 2 a.m. 2 a.m. They just started serving brunch on Saturday and Sunday, so a great place to go and get brunch. When we had Roger Stone in town last time, took him out to Bread and Circuses. We're getting Roger back to Baltimore. We were trying to get him here last week, actually. We had some scheduling conflicts. Roger, obviously, is very, very busy. It's why he misses the Stone Zone. Sometimes he's constantly on planes, trains, and automobiles, but we are getting Roger back to town. He'll be out at Bread and Circuses. We're also working with Steve and Martha, putting together some more book signing opportunities out there. Rick Vatz, we did one with Rick. Yep. I had talked to former Governor Bob Ehrlich. He's got a new book out. The governor, we're working at the details on that, getting him out to Bread and Circuses. Tyron, maybe we'll do a book signing for you out there.
Hey, if we do, then I hate to sound like a broken record, but
Yes.
I can get my Bloody Mary.
That
From-
with
yeah.
a special straw.
Absolutely. That's
And
good stuff.
I have talked to Steve about this many times, just as a friend. There's a book I've wanted to write that I have no idea how to go about doing this. I want to do a kids book that teaches. Tyrone, you and I have talked about
Yep,
this.
yep.
That
On
teaches
economics.
on economics, on conservatism, on all the basic principles that we preach here on the show. So I would hope that Steve Fox, if I wrote my kids book, he would let me do would that be a book signing or like a coloring book? Maybe we could all sit around the table and color the pages together. And, yeah,
Something like that.
because I have 2 books and I've colored them both.
Hey, you're one ahead of me.
Quick break. You're listening to the Jimmy Mathis Show on Talk Radio 680 WCBM. Roger Stone for the Stone Zone, scheduled next.